Hello everyone and welcome to Spunky Girl Paper Co. Today I'll be making my first mixed media art project and I'm really excited. I was inspired by a challenge over at the new Artful Evidence Facebook page, which I'll link in the description below. The challenge was to make a 6x6 art piece with the prompt flowers. So I'm going to be cutting down this piece of patterned scrapbook paper to a 6x6 square. And here I'm just deciding which of these two sides I want to use. This one I think will frame my quote a little better, so that's the one I'm going to use. I decided that the scrapbook paper wasn't quite thick enough to give me the look I wanted, so I cut down a piece of just spare cardboard from a box that I ordered from Amazon to 6x6, and now I'm going to cover the back of it in gold paint. In hindsight, it probably would have been better to just cover the back of this with some paper, but I really wanted to bring another medium into my project. Because I'm not really a mixed media artist, I don't have a lot of the things that generally are used to make a mixed media project. So I was kind of trying to stretch the prompt a little bit and use what I could. The quote that I'm going to be using on my project today reads, "Plant kindness and gather love," which I actually was making a cup of tea this morning, and that was on the little tag on the tea bag, and I thought it was really appropriate for the prompt, so I decided to use it. Here I'm going to be using the ampersand stamp from the February Hero Arts My Monthly Hero Kit. I'm going to be stamping it up a few times in Memento Rhubarb Stock ink. I'm using my Stamp Perfect stamp positioning tool because it's the first time I've used this stamp and I want to make sure I get a good impression. I'm really sorry about the glare off the lid of my Stamp Perfect. My filming setup is right under a ceiling light, so unfortunately there's not much I can do about that. I apologize. I'm going to be inking up the second layer of this layering stamp with some Versamark ink. I'm going to be heat embossing it with the embossing powder that was also included in the January My Monthly Hero Kit. It's kind of a chunky glitter embossing powder, and I had never used it before, and after using it this time, I'm not sure that I love it. Here I'm covering my piece of paper in a anti-static powder tool, just to make sure that I don't get any stray embossing powder. I'm going to end up dumping the embossing powder on the image a couple of times because I wasn't pleased with the coverage that I had the first time. And after I heat it up, you'll notice there are some spots that just never really got embossed. So I end up actually re-inking it with Versamark and embossing it again. Now I'm going to be stamping out the rest of my quote with a alphabet stamp set that I found at Michael's a few weeks ago. Unfortunately, it's a silicone stamp set and not a photopolymer stamp set, and I'm not so great with those. They're a little squishy. And as you can see, I totally messed up on the end, but that's okay. I'll come fix it later. This clip is actually sped up 6,000 times faster than it actually took me to stamp it. It took me a long time, and I didn't think you guys needed to sit through that. So, here's Speedy Megan. I'm going to be using the Love stamp that's also from the February Hero Arts My Monthly Hero Kit, but without the second layer. And I'm kind of wishing I hadn't done the second layer on the ampersand as well because of that weird embossing powder. But I'm inking up Love in Versafine Onyx Black ink, which, by the way, is what the rest of my quote is stamped in as well. I'm going to stamp it a few times just to make sure it's really solid, and then I will. Here I'm going to be inking up some flowers from the Garden Party stamp set from Maymay Made It. I just thought that that upper right hand corner needed a little bit something to kind of balance out the page. I'm using Angel Pink, Rhubarb Stock, and Sweet Plum from Memento. Finally, I'm going to attach my piece of paper to my cardboard background with some art glitter glue. Just going to really lightly scrape it along my piece of paper so that I'm not oversaturating it. Last thing I want after all this hard work is for it to buckle from too much water in the glue. Thank you so much for watching today. I had a ton of fun doing my first mixed media project. I'm sure I'll be doing more. Please, if you liked this video, go ahead and hit that like button, and if you want to see more of this kind of content or more card making videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I'd love to hear your comments down below. Thank you. Bye.